Hey, Wolfpack. Welcome to today's pack period where we're going to jump into self-awareness a little more deeper than we did last week. So last week we, just touched the surface, try to figure out what self-awareness was. Today we're going to dive into something specific about self-awareness and try and grow in that area. And I've nicknamed this lesson Know Thy Emotions because that's the portion of self-awareness we're going to get into, emotions and feelings. And it'll be a good lesson, I promise. So before we get into that, I just want to recap, right? So we looked at the definition and we found out that there was a lot of different parts to self-awareness, and it was kind of like this puzzle. So over the course of these next few pack periods, we're going to take different pieces of the puzzle and work on them individually. And today we're going to focus on knowing what you're feeling as you're feeling it. So interesting note. Thank you guys who all did the survey. But your survey results mirrored what most self-awareness survey results say. Now, studies have found that about 90 to 95% of people, when surveyed, believe that they are self-aware. They know what they're feeling as they're feeling it and all these different things. But those studies actually found that only 5 to 15% of people are actually self-aware. And you might think that, well, that's a pretty big difference. So almost everybody thinks they're self-aware, but very few people are actually self-aware. How can that be? Well, this is the funny thing about awareness. If you are not aware of something, how can you be aware that you're not aware of it, right? So this is something we can all grow in. Me, you guys, your teachers, we can all forever, we can grow in this area and we can become more self-aware because knowing ourselves is a big task, okay? So there are these other pieces that we'll get into in future lessons. This last one, growth mindset, we covered that in the past, in trimester 1, trimester 2, around that time frame. So today we're really going to look at this piece, and at the end of today we will have looked at 2 of these pieces already. Okay. Now before we do that, I have a topic, and that's about all I have because I still right now don't know how to talk about it. And I was trying to put stuff on the slides, and I don't even know what to put on the slides to keep me on track. Okay, but the best I could do is what's on the top there: emotions and feelings. The stigma, right? Now, so the stigma, and I'm going to speak just to my experience. I don't know if this is true for everybody. I'm sure we've had different experiences. But my stigma growing up in the family I did, in the environment I did, in the society I did, was that as a boy growing up, if I wanted to become a man, a big part of that was to learn to basically not have emotions, to control them, to not feel certain ways. And so for a big part of my life, I tried to be a man, and that meant not letting myself have certain emotions and stuffing things down. And I'll be honest, there were times where it felt like it worked, but it doesn't work, guys, because they come out eventually. Okay. And I actually want to make this argument about that belief that being a man means not having emotions or stuffing them all down. Right. So to ignore something is pretty easy to do, but to not feel good about something, to feel sad because you lost somebody or missed somebody, or to feel betrayed or to feel upset, to allow yourself to feel that and to try and figure out why you feel that way is a lot harder than it is to just ignore something or bury something. Okay. And so that's my argument, is that it's actually more manly, or takes more bravery or more courage to let yourself feel these things and then to try and figure out why you feel that. And what takes even more courage and bravery than that is to figure out a way to communicate that to other people when you feel that there's a need to. So that's my experience with society's stigma on emotions and feelings growing up. I'm hoping some of you guys will be brave enough to share that with the class as well. And hopefully some of your teachers will share stuff too, because I mean, some may have had similar experiences as I, some may have had different ones, and it's an interesting topic to hear about. I'm hoping that I'll be able to hear some feedback about this topic with you guys. So what does society say about emotions and feelings? What are your guys' experience? Are you raised to be a certain way? Does society expect, guys to be a certain way or girls to be a certain way? Do you agree or disagree with any of it? Talk about it. Get out of your comfort zone. And then we'll check back in a little bit.